Excellent work. Let's jump into our movement instruction. Today's movement instruction will focus on one exercise, and that's the pike push-up. We're really going to be noticing this more in our shoulders. So what I'll do for this movement, I'll go ahead and get down on the ground and get down on my knees, and I'm going to put my hands at about shoulder width, just a little more than shoulder widths apart, much like a standard plank. And I'm going to rotate my elbows in just a little bit to make sure, not too much, but I want to make sure that as I'm going down into this movement, that I'm not flaring my elbows out. I really don't want to end up in this position with my elbows really flared out. So I'll rotate my elbows just a little bit to maintain that nice kind of even path of movement through this exercise. So my hands, in my case, your dimensions, everybody's body type's a little different, but in my case, I've got my hands about 8 to 10 inches in front of my knees and just a little bit more than shoulder width apart, a little bit outside the knees. I then roll my body weight up onto the balls of my feet. Get into a nice inverted V. Okay? So if you have trouble with that, you can kind of walk your feet in or out, and depending on where your foot position is, will have an impact on how much engagement of the shoulders you're activating to try and get you moving through this maneuver. But the more inverted and the more pronounced the V position can be, the better off you'll be and the more strict you'll be in accomplishing the pike push-up as intended. So get in this position, and from here, I will go ahead and do my push-up. Trying to touch my nose to the floor through this movement. Keep the back straight, keep the legs straight, nice, sharp, inverted V. Don't flare out the elbows too much, and do your push-up through that position. Now, if you find this exercise to be very challenging, we do have a few progressions for you, but I'll focus on one here for today, and you can kind of choose whichever variant of this exercise is most manageable for you and is feeling right for your fitness level and your strength in your shoulders for this exercise. So with this variant, we're going to be leveraging a sort of negative push-up. And what we'll want to be doing here is kind of focusing on the descent and controlling our descent through this exercise, and then transitioning to our knees to get our arms back into a straight extended position. Then we'll bring our butt back up and we'll cycle through that for the movement. So I'll show you what this looks like. All the same initial cues, knees on the ground, hands about, I'll say 8 to 10 inches in front of me. I'm going to roll my weight up onto the balls of my feet. I'll then control my descent, and then I'll drop my knees to the ground so I can get back into an extended arm position on my knees. That way, if the push-up is challenging for you, it gets you back to this extended arm position without having to do the full pike push-up. And then we bring our butt back up, and we repeat the movement.